In this tutorial, we will be creating a web application where we will be using Framework 7 that uses an API with express commands in the command in terminal window. So basically, the client app will display URLs, display an individual URL, and upload it to the API. So when starting this first, you need to navigate to your directory. I've already got the files built in my computer, so I'll just be running them. But to actually make a directory, you'd go into terminal, you would navigate to your folder. So in my case, it would be this folder, for the client folder, for instance. And then to make a directory is just mkdir, and then you give it a name, and that will create a folder within the folder. When starting this, you need to make a folder beforehand and to place all the apps in. Another thing is we'll be using the npm inside the API. So when creating the API folder, so we'll just navigate into that folder. To start with, you always install, you put npm and then you go init. This initializes the npm command. After this, we will do git init. This will also allow us, this is the second command, and it is quite important that we do this as well. After this, we use npm install express save. And then after this, after using express, remember to use multi, to use SQLite if using a database. In this case, I am using a database in the example. And then body dash parser. Once these are all installed, you'll be able to have an application. Well, the API is all built. Then what you would do is you'd create a JS file. So in my case, I made a music app, and the music app uses these functions, and I put variable SQLite so I could build my table and everything. Mult is there, body parse is there, and express are all functions within this application. After this, I've commented out my table, because obviously I've already built it and made my table, but I built my table within the actual JS file, because you can do it like that. I'll send you the table, so I'll send you the whole file, so you're able to copy this bit of code and then read through it, obviously, and then follow the layout. So your album name, artist, year, and image would go into each of these. After this, we need to get to the default location. So this would mean if you typed in, sorry, 1 second. So basically, after all this is set up, it's listening. But to be honest, we're not really going to be using this in our app. In our app, we'll be using the add review. So basically, in the add review, what's going to happen is going to insert into the table. So using a bit of SQL, it does that, and then inserts into the image, email, condition, description, and price, because this is a selling app where once I demonstrate it to you, you'll be able to see what it does. And then this is the functions you'll use to display the correct tables in the app and display it as a JSON. Now it says listen at 3000, so when you click that, so when you go on to, so say if this is running, and I put in node music.js, it's up and running, as you can see. So then what you need to do is actually open the developer tools, After opening developer tools, go to settings, and then go to disable cache. And in my case, I need to go to http localhost, and it'll come up with a hello world that shows me that this is all working. So that's the default. So basically it'll say hello world. I can change this to anything. If I change this to hello class, then I saved it. Then you cancel this and then run it again. So it refreshes it on the thing. Then when I press the refresh button, I'll say hello class. Now, after building the JS file, we need to create everything else. I mean, we've got all our endpoints already, which are these three things. So all music, all review, and all time, the endpoints. Now, this was the easy part. What we need to do now is we need to open up a new terminal window. If you're not using a terminal, you can use something called Commander. You can just download it and use it, which is a console emulator. To also use this, you need node.js, and then you need to download the LTS version. This is for use at home. And then also you need GitHub. So mine is called Uni Account Boom. Yeah, and there you go. So after all this is completed, I'm going to provide you a booklet that will provide you how to build each page. But essentially what you'll do is you will create the client. And to create the client, again, you would navigate out of the big folder and go into the smaller folder, right? So first of all, you'd go to ppw2, which is the folder where everything is, and then you would mkdir, and then whatever you want to call it. So in my case, it is ppw2, and then I want the client. So I'm inside the client folder. Once you're in the client folder, you want to install framework 7. So you put npm install framework 7 save, and this installs framework 7. And also you want to install a web server. So you got http server -g. In this case, on this computer, this doesn't always work. See? So what you have to do is you got to put a sudo command in. So basically this makes it an admin. This is for Macs though. For Windows computers and for your computers, hopefully our technician has solved this issue. But yeah, so that just creates a web server. And to create a starting page, you call it touch, and then you call it index .html, and that would be your starting page. And then you need to make new directories, so mkdir, put js on the end, because you need JS files, and then you need to put an mkdir, and then you need a pages folder as well. After you've done all this, you can basically use the HTTP server to go on to the created app. So in this case, the created app looks a little like this. So that would be your phone, imagine. Click it, you can view the albums. Click the album, it goes to what the album is and with all its information. People have rated albums. Those are some tests that I've done. these are album listings. Add a description review, and then you can add items to sell. So that's all well and good, but how do I get to that point, you may be asking yourselves. You'll obviously need the relevant images inside the relevant folders. So in this case, all the images are just stored like this, but you can make an image directory and direct to that folder. I just put them here because I was being a bit, well, I wasn't being very organized when I was making this. I was getting everything done at the last second. Now, what's very important is you've got a roots.js file. So this would say, oh yeah, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this. So root equals, and then path. So you put the dash property and dash HTML, but this is actually in dash albums. So basically, this is all in the, so it knows what it's doing. So it knows that dash is just dash HTML. If I want to change that, I can put pages there and move the index page into the pages. But to be honest, your index file needs to be outside those files. Your pages are all albums, detail, add review, like this. And then if it doesn't work, you want a 404 error, which basically says there's an error. Get this one onto here as well. So basically what this says is, this is basic Framework 7 code. So basically we want a new Framework 7 app, root, ID, name, theme. So it does all that. Then it shows you, so if you command and click the link, you'll be able to go to the page. So it will give you the text version of the page. This is the developer version. So this is what developers will be looking at to see if the page is working or not. It's not meant for clients. Clients are meant to only see this. But you as the developers will obviously see a page with text on it. So obviously you make all your pages and run your app afterwards, and making the pages is quite simple. I'll provide you a page template, and from that page template you can do whatever you want. So you can create whatever sort of app you want. So if I'm just gonna, oops, forgot to drop that into there. So this is what my ad selling page looks like. I'll provide you this app to look at and take inspiration from. But what I will need to do is I will provide you just a template page of Framework 7 app and how it's built and all that. From that you should be able to use the Framework 7.io website to look at the different features it has. So basically you can use an action sheet, and you can just make an app, you know. In this case, I would like you to make a very simple like birthday card app. So basically you have like a layout where you can have a box, like a picture at the top, and then at the bottom a simple greetings. Or you could do a photo browser app where you can basically just swipe between photos. You can just get any random pictures of the internet. For instance, you can make an animal slider app where you've got animals and you can just slide through the animals. Also, you can build a toolbar and tab app if you would like to add these to your app. It is very good. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this is a useful video.